in the context of pandemia, in the context of brokenness, in the context of so many things that have become questionable and uncertain, here's the bottom line. We fear God because there is not such a thing as a struggle or a fight between God and Satan. The struggle is between Satan and the church, Satan in our minds, Satan and the Christian. There is no comparison to the God of the Bible. He stands in a specific place alone. And this is why the fear of the Lord is a sense of reverence. It's a sense of stopping the nonsensical thing of sanitizing, of domesticating God. See, that is not biblical. In the church 2,000 years ago, apparently they were doing that. And the last thing is the honor of the emperor. Now, this is why we were called to do this. Number one is because Jesus modeled this. Jesus modeled this in the context of the triune God, that we understand that is one single God, just like one single pretzel, made of three wholes. But every whole is unique and distinctive. So last week, what we said basically is one God, that he is one God, which is Father, Son, and Spirit. And although in essence is one single God, we don't worship three gods, they do have uniqueness. And the uniqueness, just like those holes, you see the holes, they're unique. They're not the same, they're unique. What you cannot do is try to separate the holes in this case, or in this case, the persons of the triune God. The point that I'm trying to make is part of the uniqueness is that the Son, based on the scriptures, submits to the Father. And the Spirit submits to the Son. And the reality is that submission, what he does, it accentuates the deity of Jesus. That as he submits to the Father, it is in the context of submission that he is exalted back into cosmic authority. So Philippians says that because of his submission, because of his surrendering into the leadership of the Father, is that he is given by the Father the name that is above every other name. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that this is the illustration that Jesus in submission did not lose his essence. In submission, he simply took or experienced the functionality why he is the second person of the Trinity, why he is the Son of God. In reality, that submission, what he created, watch Peter speaking earlier into the chapter, is that he describes Jesus as the cornerstone, as the foundation of the church. And then anybody that comes to him, anybody that comes to Jesus is not coming to avoid problems or difficulties or to feel that you are lesser being or there's a sense of inequality. See, you come to him to become living stones. That's that's the language he uses. Jesus is the cornerstone. He is the living stone. And you see the full example, the full illustration and crystallization of submission. It is in the context of Jesus being the cornerstone that he was rejected by men, by humans. And yet, at the same time, it is him, Jesus, in the context of submission, that he was chosen by God. What's the point? Here's the point. And this is why we need to listen to this message on a Sunday like this after Father's Day. Apparently, the choosing or the election of Jesus, and through Jesus, he chose many, that's us, that's the living stones, was specifically to be rejected. And I'm saying this because tragically, when we see submission as inequality, we believe by default that if I have been chosen by God, if I belong to Jesus, it's so I can avoid rejection. But apparently of the Holy Spirit, he is reminding us because he saw it. He saw the uniqueness of Jesus as he prayed to the Father, the uniqueness of Jesus as he submitted to the leadership of his earthly parents, as he followed and as he became a servant that eventually got to the place of rejection. So as you listen to the message this morning, and you may find yourself in a place where maybe spiritually, maybe emotionally, maybe relationally, maybe financially, we may feel rejected. We may feel that things are not working. The predetermined, listen to my language, predetermined plan of redemption that God had from the beginning of creation. In other words, this rejection was not a surprise, was not a sudden thing that just took everyone unexpectedly. This is God orchestrating things that my conclusion on a day like this, in the context of a lot of craziness going on, here's my conclusion. My conclusion is simply that evil, brokenness, craziness, pandemics, every single thing, including Satan, serves the purposes of God. The rejection that people, their own people, they gave to Jesus Christ served the purposes of God.